Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Trusted Talks with Maria. I am your host, Maria Atieno. I am so happy to bring you this show today. It is because there is a lot for you guys to learn from. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, and share. Our first guest of the show is none other than the CEO of Dreaman Technologies Limited. Please allow me to let him introduce himself to us. Karibu sana CEO.
Thank you very much.
Very nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for hosting me today.
How have you been?
I've been great. I thank God.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would like for you to tell us who you are, where you grew up from, and how did that affect you as a person?
Brian Nyambati is my name. I've been born in Nyanza region, but I've been raised up in the Rift Valley. And my growth journey has been an amazing one. I've been born in an average family. Sometimes they usually say call a spade, not a big spoon. I've been born in a poor background. And to some point, it was really traumatizing, knowing that there are so many things you cannot access in life. And meeting maybe those who have it all, and knowing that maybe you cannot access some things basic as a kid. And for me, it did affect me. I can say a bit of psychologically. I realized that later, mentally, but I do thank God. Things kept on moving on well. And here we are today.
What were you like as a child?
I think I was the creative boy, like that innovative boy, because as I grew up, I used to do so many things, technically trying to create some small things, wiring here and there. You know, we were brought up learning science in primary, and you know how to connect a wire to the next, like a bulb light. Yeah, I think I was that technical guy. Okay. Yes.
Okay. What was your biggest fear growing up?
My biggest fear was to remain the same place I was born in, or rather not change my background and getting back to the same place that I've always wanted to run away from since I was a child.
What did you want to be when you grow up, and would you tell us why?
The big names. I didn't want to become a doctor anyway, but I wanted to become an engineer. Reason being, I was named after an engineer. I was named after an engineer, the only engineer in our village by then. And I thank God, you know, being named after an engineer and knowing that I would one day become maybe better than the engineer in the village.
Yes.
That is the motivation I had. And that is why I think I was so innovative when it comes to things, engineering, electrical, and all that.
What was the most significant turning point in your life?
It all started when now I had already transitioned to my high school levels, because that is where I got a lot of exposure. And I remember what actually changed me is there are some books I read by Eric Opingo. One book was In Your Hands Lies Your Future, and the second book was You Are an Answer to Your Generation. That is when I knew no matter where I've come from, I will not give accountability to my grandchildren based on my poor background. If I wanted to be the turning point, I'm the one who could change everything. I'm the one who could give an account of greatness to my grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren. And that is when inside me, something just grew in me that you need to do something great. You need to do something different. Because in my early Form 2s is when I started studying more about the business world, the real life world, and I could watch thanks to the internet. But then, of course, we access to so many things. You Googling, you checking YouTube here and there. And I learned a lot of business. Apart from the 2 books I read, another books that gave me now the business focus was a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I also read a book called Why a Student work for C students and B students work for the government. So since I'd already identified myself and I knew I needed to do something bigger than what my parents had done, I needed to do something bigger that could help me change and impact myself as I impact other people, I stopped focusing on the grades. I stopped focusing on getting an A, because that was always my focus in high school. I always wanted to get an A, go to the best university. In fact, I wanted to study outside the country. But now, when I realized that there are people who have studied so hard, they have even gone abroad, but they have come working there and they are earning salary. I've not seen any big change they have made, is when I saw the impact entrepreneurs make. And my focus was to become an entrepreneur. And all the way from high school levels, I remember telling my mom, while I was in Form 2, I don't think if I'll ever be employed in life. And my mom could actually tell her friends that my son is an unemployed millionaire. You know, alisema hata akisoma hata ajiriwa. And you know, I would be proud of that sometimes, and it really made an impact on me, big time.
Please tell us the journey of Dreamman Technologies Limited. Did you face any challenge? Were there personal efforts?
The journey of Dreamman started all the way, as I told you, when I was still in high school, because that's the first time I learned about starting a company and all that. And it was always a dream. I had that someday I would come up with something that is going to give people an opportunity to achieve their dreams, to go for what they want. And before I started Dreamman, my personal dream was always, before I hit the age of 20, I wanted to at least have made my first million, you know, at least I've been able to even drive. And I thank God, I made my first million when I was 19 years old. And I also drove my first car when I was 20 years old. So at least that personal goal that I always had, I was able to achieve it. And when I achieved that, I had made some good savings, and I said, I now need to start a company that's going to help people achieve their dreams. And since I had written a book, Stand Out to Be Counted, when I was in high school, I wanted to live that dream. I wanted to live that book. Even today, I have not yet published that book, because I said I will publish it when my success story has already reached the peak, from where I started from and to where I am. I started Dreamman. I was still living somewhere along Thika Road, that is somewhere behind Thika Road Mall. And Dreamman was started in actually a one-bedroom house that I was living in by then. And I remember telling this idea to some of my friends vividly, that there's this idea I have, and I know it's going to make us millionaires. Not only us, but so many other people. And you know, there are those who will believe in you, and there are those who will actually be like, we know these things. And there are those who will automatically not believe in you. There are those who will discourage you. You know, you're young for this, you can't do this, try doing this instead. But I thank God, I held on to that dream. And Dreamman was born. And the word Dreamman actually is a combination of three words: dream, learn, and earn. Because across everything, I knew one thing: for you to achieve your dream, for you to get that honor, get that respect, get even the income you need from that dream that you have to learn. So I centered the company on education.
Wow.
Not literally the school education people go to, the formal education, yes, but the skills that are needed outside here, the skills that can conform someone from just dreaming to making that dream a reality. And that is how Dreamman started. I called across some of my friends. They were around 7, but those who actually listened to the idea were around 5. 2 automatically just brushed it off, and then 5 listened to it. But we ended up registering the business as 2. So it was me, and then a friend of mine who actually believed in me. And he told me, Brian, I know, as you've said, this thing is going to make us millionaires. We're going to change a lot of people's lives using this company. So we started off And I'll tell you, the challenges started all the way from the first day, because we was struggling, because the savings I had, we used to develop an e-learning software, and it was not still enough. So we ended up spending all the money on that, because none of us was a tech person. None of us was a developer. We were all basics and all that. So we had to outsource software development for our e-learning platform, so that we can be able to give the lessons, the teachings, even before we could diverge to other business that we wanted to do under dream on. It was my everything, because that is where I put everything. That is where I decided to, this is it, this is what I'm gonna do. And I knew I'm gonna build this company until the day I see it successfully growing. It is a solemn promise I made to myself. This is it. I'm not gonna quit on this, and I must impact people's lives using this company. So it is something I invested everything, my money, my efforts, my thoughts, onto it. And I can tell you, it wasn't easy.
Throughout your journey, or throughout rather the journey of Dreaman Technologies Limited, have you had any support system?
When you talk about support system, I can say that is why we struggled in the first place. Remember, as I told you, I'm just a village boy, born from a poor background, trying to change things back at home, and in the city. So you don't have that powerful uncle that will say, if things get stuck, I have that one person I can call, and they can bail me out. I don't have that powerful family with finances that if things get stuck today, I can call, hey, daddy, mommy, I need some 200K and some 300K to boost this up. So I knew very well it wasn't gonna be easy. So my idea was to source out for support and investment from those people I had closely worked with. Those people, at least I knew. They knew me. They knew me as a dreamer. They knew me as a person who never gives up. They knew me as a person who was pushing it until it gets done. But I received my first disappointment from a person I so-called my mentor, because there is a previous project we did together. And when I approached him, he actually told me, Brian, why should I invest in you? Why should I even invest in you when I can take my money to the money markets and make profits? It was really devastating, because this one person I knew, at least this person can help me. At least this person can put in something. But I thank God for my friend. When I told him, I've tried seeking out money from this person, and he has rejected my offer. And he told me, Brian, don't worry. You know what? We're going to become millionaires, and not only become millionaires, but we'll impact people and they will look for us. So don't worry, we'll just push with whatever we have. We'll push whatever we are in. And since I'd invested all my savings and the money I had put aside probably to purchase my car, by then I had not yet accessed it. It was still locked up in my locked savings account. And I've reached a point, I don't have money. I'm behind arrears in terms of my rent. And the first month has gone down. I've already received a notice. The second month is here. I have not paid rent. Of course, the house I was staying, you understand Nairobi, the agents will never give you that time to even say, I'm doing something, I'll pay later and all that. And literally, I got kicked out of that house at the brim when I'm just starting a company that it's gonna make us money, it's gonna grow us. So our first struggle started from there. Okay, you're now taken back to square one, back to the streets. You don't even know where to start from. You don't know where you're going to. I had to accept, because just coming, you've gone somewhere and you're coming back and you get your house with a very, very big padlock on it. You feel bad. It's devastating. You feel bad. I was so down. At this point, I can say I felt like I was being communicated to, like, why should you even go on? Things are not working out. You should just stop, you know. But something inside me tells me, remember why you started. Remember what you've gone through, even whatever you've done. Yes, you made your first million, you achieved that dream that you had. Yes, you're on the bridge of almost buying your first car, but this money is not yet here. The money I was having, it's already over. I've been kicked out of the house. I'm trying to explain to my landlord, but the agents were not listening to me. They're like, you just clear up your rent and then we open the house for you. I had to find an alternative. I went to stay with a friend of mine who actually hosted me. And I thank God for it. Yes.
So that is basically like you didn't have a support system. Like it was just you and you.
Yes. There was no support system. Along the way, as we build Dreaman, remember now at this point, after I'd been kicked out of the place I was living in, and I went to live with a friend of mine, that is when I was able to access a bank loan. As I got that chance, I got around 1.2 million Kenyan shillings, and I was able to establish the company in Westlands together with my friends. We were not three of us. The partner, we started with the company. Now the friend of mine who had hosted me. So we came all together and we established the company. You know, when we have already gotten the money, now we are like, we thought we were stuck, but now here the money has come, and let's push this thing. We started the company in Dreaman, in Westlands, where we established our classy office, furnished it very well. It was amazing because every person who could come there, they'd already seen us super successful. We were already like flying and all that. But the first month went down, the second month went down. We were only able to register, I think, around 4 people for the e-learning program. And it started developing some issues here and there. Sometimes it is down, people are accessing it, it's not accessible. And we finished the second month with no sale, the third month with no sale. And we have already finished all the money that we had in operations. So we went back to square one, no money, no nothing. I remember my first batch of employees. Now, it has reached a point I need to pay them. And I don't have money to pay them. I've tried reaching out to people. I've tried reaching out to investors. I remember I talked with an individual who was to invest in the company, and he pulled out. He didn't invest in the company. And we have no option. And one of the most dearest things I ever did, because I was so attached to the people I was working with, my partners, the people who were working with me. I was so attached to the extent I've sought for financing, I've sought for money, but I've not found the money yet. And bills are waiting, office rent is waiting. My partners need to pay their rent. I need to pay my rent. My employees, they need money, they need to feed, they need to pay their rent. Some have families, they need to do all that. I was on the verge of, should I close the company? Or what do I do? I remember the only thing I had was my car. And I told myself, I can get a loan with this car. And somebody advised me, and he told me, rather than taking a loan, which will actually maybe give you, just sell the car and put the money into the business, then start your business. Your business can always buy you more cars. And because of the dreams I had, and the passion I had put, and the emotional attachment I had put to the company, I sold the car. I sold the car, got the money. We sorted out bills. We sorted out some pending arrears we had, paid some wages to our employees, and we saw at least we have been unstuck. But I remember I had to let my employees go. I had around 8 employees. I had to let 3/4 of them go. And I remained with around, I think, 2-3 in the company. And we finished the first month. By the month, I sold the car with has already finished. And we are back to square one. I've already now decided, since I'm a person who loves working with people. And since I understood there's nothing I could achieve alone, I needed a team. And I set up a very, very powerful team, my second batch. At least we started off now pushing. We're not the e-learning. We have decided to do digital marketing. We're pushing on digital marketing, push on some corporate events here and there, trainings here and there. But it was literally tough because now we're trying to run a conglomerate now. There's the e-learning platform, there's the digital marketing aspect, there's the corporate training aspect, the academy aspect. We tried pushing it, but after months, now this is adding up to 6 months since we established the company. Things again hit the corner. 2 months down the line, no money. The money that has come in, it cannot even be enough to pay rent and to pay even one employee. And we are with the corner again. I'd approached an investor who was to invest around, that was around 100,000 US dollars, around 10 million Kenyan shillings. And that investor actually flew to Germany. And when he flew to Germany, there was no communication. And that is the money I was banking on to operate the company, to run, to pay employees, to do marketing and all that. But now, the person I was depending on is no longer there. And we are back to square one. Things have now become so tough. This time round, I'm seeing a lot of pressure because I've sold my car, all right? I don't have money operating. So I think into an emotional instance. I was so attached to these things because the things I've achieved for the first time and they're all gone. And at some point I used to ask myself, is it a curse? Like, there's nothing good that can come out of a poor village boy. But something told me just keep pushing, just keep going. And we had to let go all our employees. We had to release them.
And now that you're here, CEO, what do you wish you knew even before you started Dream & Technologies Limited?
Number one, if I knew what I know today, Dream & today would be. But because I'm trying my with in business, that was my first. Not getting treatment as a. If I knew that, a mentor, a that could guide me as I established this company, but I didn't have one. Another mistake is trying to do so many things at the same time. Here I am trying to push the corporate events, trying to push e-learning, and I was the only think tank in the company. So it was so tough. It was so tough on me to the extent that I sometimes could just not think anymore. And those lessons kept coming up, kept on coming up. And I realized when you start a company, you have to scale a lot of things. That is when I understood there is the operation, and you have to talk about, you have to make sure your operation part of it is well planned. There is the marketing aspect, all right? There's the financing aspect, and there's the innovation aspect. If I knew what, trust you me, I would. Okay, because on the bridge of the business, without necessarily understanding the cash flow of the business. I trust you me, I literally learned a lot. It was an ordeal that I'll never forget. And today, I'm here, full of knowledge, full of experience, full of drive, passion. Because I took one full year, after I closed my Westlands branch, I took one full year just to process everything, to learn everything once more. And I started again, afresh. And today, I've scaled this company. Today, my digital marketing aspect is generating. All right? We are building up on our channel that is growing up. And we are focusing so much on getting that impact, growing the company one step at a time.
It gives you motivation.
Waking up every single day and keeping on pushing.
Wow.
That one dream that I'm gonna build something great for our generations to enjoy from. That's what keeps me going every single day.
Wow. Wow, that means you're an emotionally intelligent person, because I understand when someone is emotionally intelligent, there is that self-drive, self-motivation. So I must really commend you for that. That is very, very powerful. Very powerful. And you know, Mr. CEO, I consider you one of the very, one of the successful young people in this time. So I would love to hear from you, like, what is success to you?
When it comes to success, for me, I cannot say I have a definition for success, because success comes in different ways. Success might be wanting to achieve something and to achieve it. You call it success. Success might be, tangible things, the cars people own, the things that people have outside there. There are just so many things that can define success. But for me, success is having a fulfillment. Having a fulfillment of what you wanted in life, having a fulfillment or accomplishing something that you wanted.
Having achieved something.
Yes.
Oh, that is very, very powerful. What is that one piece of advice that you can give our viewers today?
The one piece of advice that I could give to our viewers out here is never give up, never quit. It might be hard today, it might be so hard, even more harder tomorrow, but never ever quit. Reason being, it all ends when you quit. It all ends when you quit. But when you have a dream that you want to achieve, when you have something that you feel has an impact, not only to you, but to so many other people, never quit. It's at the graveside that a lot of unrealized potential lies. And that is why every single day I tell people to hold on, to keep pushing. It gets harder as you push, but push. Never quit. If you believe in it, never ever give up. Steve Jobs once said, it's only those who are crazy enough to think they can change the world, and they're the ones who really change the world. And that is why, even when you look across all these other things, those people who have impeccably done great things, they have failed. If you fail, don't stop.
Don't stop.
I know our school systems, when you fail, you're discouraged. When you fail, sometimes you're beaten. When you fail, but failure is part of the process.
Wow.
Failure is the first stepping stone to success.
Wow.
If you fail, fail. Fail fast, but fail forward.
Is there anything that you feel like we have not talked about, and or rather touched on, that you feel like you also need to tell our viewers?
Nothing much I can say, but what I can tell that young person out there, that old person out there, or that little child who is growing up, is as long as you have a dream, you are alive. Dreams keep us alive. if you don't have a dream, probably you don't have somewhere you're heading to. Dreams is like a vision board. It's like something you're looking up to. That one day, this is what I want. That is why when you dream and achieve, you dream again. They keep propelling you. They keep pushing you. I just tell any person out there, dream and dream big. Be crazy. They will call you crazy. Even biblically, Joseph was called crazy. Okay. But because his dreams, the dreams he had for the future, is what liberated the Israelites from hunger. Is what liberated the family from hunger. The same people who told him he was crazy are the same people who came to him to take food from the same place they sold him to. So you don't need to worry. When you receive discouragement, take that as a stepping stone. When people reject you, take that as a stepping stone. Just be strong emotionally. Just build your mental muscle and make sure you learn, and you learn a lot.
Wow. Where can our viewers find you on the social media platforms? Or is there any number that they can reach you on?
You can easily get me on Facebook as Sir Brian Nyambati. You can get me on Instagram as Sir Brian Nyambati. On LinkedIn, the same, Brian Nyambati. You can always connect with me via WhatsApp. We can talk investment, we can talk business, we can talk a lot. And I believe my WhatsApp number, it will be highlighted here, 0702-457-717.
Well, that's it. We really appreciate CEO today for being on the show. We have learned a lot. Personally, me, I have learned a lot. This is someone who inspires me so much, and he has inspired a lot of young people out there. So for me, I have learned a lot that in life, things might get tough, but you still have to push. Like, you still, even when you fail, but you fail forward. I hope someone has learned something today. And I also hope that you have taken notes. And if you have taken notes, please drop them on the comment section below. So thank you guys for being here today. We would have if it were not you guys. Next time, goodbye and thank you.